Hey, good morning, Austin.
How are you? Good morning. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, buddy.
I had a question. So, if you were Shad Khan right now at this second, how would you be approaching the team? Would you just tank for Travis Hunter and just fire sale and get as many picks as you can and rebuild? What would you do? How would you approach it?
DiRocco, go ahead. I mean, I have thoughts on this,
I don't
but
fire sale. Because fire sale is you're blowing it up. And there's no need to blow it up when you have the key pieces on this team that you have. You can still be a competitive team next year. You could be a team that could win this division next year. You've got the quarterback. You've got two good running backs. You've got one of the better tight ends in the NFL, pass-catching tight ends. You've got, I'm going to say, one of the best young receivers that's come into the league in the last 5, 6, 7 years.
I think a decent offensive line, the way they played this year.
Now, the other side of the ball, that's other issues. You got some massive problems you got to fix over there. But, if I'm fire sailing, that means I'm blowing it all up.
You're selling away everything with a value.
Correct. Like you're dumping Christian Kirk.
You're not restarting at quarterback.
Ingram, right. You're dumping Ingram. You're dumping, whether you're dumping Kirk or you're dumping ETN or whatever. I'm not doing that if I'm Shad, because I look and I can see that we have pieces in place, so why would I blow it completely all up?
Right, but I think there's a difference between blowing it up. Like, had Christian Kirk not gotten hurt and they traded him, you can look at it and say, his cap number compared to what Parker Washington we think can give us at the position, it may just be an economical, smart move that, it's not like Christian Kirk's numbers were blowing us away this year.
He was averaging a career best 14 yards a catch.
Per catch, right?
Right.
But the total catches and yards were not that significant. Had a lot more drops this year than I can remember at any point in the past. So, good. Yeah, he has. It seems like he hits him on a 25 or 30-yard pass every game, and that helps out the average yards per catch.
But he also didn't have Brian Thomas Jr. taking targets away from him in the years past, too. So that's part of it. But
sure, but if you look at it that way, you say, he's now a little less important in the hierarchy, and we can replace him with a guy on a rookie deal. Teams do those kind of moves all the time. It's keeping it fresh. That's not necessarily a fire sale, right? Especially when you're 2-6, you trim the excess, right? And you try to get cheap capital. Here's the thing. I don't know what Shad Khan can do. I think he could do some things that would appease the fan base, but I don't think he necessarily can do anything that's going to really have a lasting impact on the football team in terms of you're not going to hire a new GM in the middle of the season because you're going to limit your pool of candidates. All the guys who are working for other teams are not going to be eligible to be interviewed during the season. So you can only hire somebody who's currently unemployed to come in and take that job or elevate somebody from within. So while it would make people, yay, we got rid of Trent Baalke, right? Like they would. The fan base would love that. It would not necessarily have any tangible effect on the rest of this year at all.
No.
Or even into...
It is what it is.
Right. And I get sometimes you fire the coach, you light a fire on the team. Ask the Jets how that worked, right? They haven't won since. Right, they fired Robert Saleh, and they're over since then. There's no guarantee that is going to change anything dramatically. I'm not saying that you never fire a guy in season, but I feel like you almost do it towards the end of the year with a coach to make it clear this job's open. We'll give somebody on the staff a chance to impress us for a couple of games, but it's more like we're going to get ahead of this so we can hit the ground running once the offseason gets here.
Right. I would expect, if that's what Shad is thinking, I would expect if he's going to make that move in season, it would be the bye week, which is the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay. Something like that, right? Give an interim coach. But
right. They
even
come back they come back from Detroit? Yeah, they come back from Detroit, and then if he was going to make the move, he'd make it then.
So who's the head coach then? Mike McCoy?
You could do that. You could also, it depends. Is he firing Press Taylor with him? If not, then you could make Mike McCoy the interim head coach and Press continues to call plays. If you fire Press with him, which I don't see any reason why you would, because play calling has not been an issue this year, and I will argue that.
I heard the guys talk about, I saw the stat yesterday, Jags averaging the most yards per play in the history of the team, which what that speaks to is terrible situational football.
Correct.
They're getting big chunks of yardage, and they're breaking down in the red zone. They're not converting the third and shorts and extending those drives.
Right.
It's mind-boggling.
It is. If you were going to fire Press Taylor with Doug, then that would mean Mike McCoy's probably calling plays, and you would probably elevate Heath Farwell, the special teams coordinator, and have him be, because really all you need, once you fire the head coach, all you need is the guy that does the media during the week and the guy who can stand up in front of the rest of the players and keep the team together. And Heath Farwell, one of the more liked guys in that locker room on the honestly, coaching staff.
He probably deserves it more than anybody because his unit is kicking
not
some
disappointed.
tail.
Yes.
Right? His unit is performing at a super high level. Right?
Without question.
It's just that those special teams, outside of John Harbaugh, special teams coordinators rarely get an opportunity.
Well, Joe Judge did too, right?
Rare. I said rarely. I didn't say never,
and
but
it
that
didn't work
go
out with
well.
Joe Judge.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's, that doesn't mean the next guy isn't capable of doing it. And by the way, I'm not trying to stump for Heath Farwell to take over the job here in Jacksonville. Anyway, I don't think there's a whole lot an owner can do mid-season other than firing people.
Yeah. And look, if I was the owner, with the way the last year of Jaguars football has gone from midway through last season to this point this year, what I would be demanding, I want to see everything you can do to win every week be done. Right? Like, that's the demand week to week. I'm not saying they're not doing that now, and they're just finding ways to lose games that they could have won. They are. Like, that's obvious. That's why they're 10-6 and not 6-2, right? Like, this team isn't that far away from flipping the record they currently have right now. And if I was the owner, I'd be looking at it and say, then flip it, and flip it now, right? Like, there's no more time to wait to see what's going to happen with any of this. I've seen that they're capable of maybe giving me that kind of result on the field, not necessarily that I or anyone else expect, but that would be what I'd be demanding. And if I don't get that, then yeah, if I'm the owner, we get to the end of the year, heads may roll, right? If we get to the end of the year and it looks like this through the end of the season, but I don't think Shad's at that point right now. I wouldn't expect him to be at that point right now with any of the things that are going on. I would demand, I want to see you guys do everything you can to win, right?
And I think they
beat Philadelphia on Sunday.
They are doing that. And they are stepping all over their shoes with stupid mistakes. They're their own worst enemy, and they're the reason that those mistakes and the self-inflicted wounds are the reason they're in the spot where they are right now.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.